Welcome back, everyone. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday next week, and we have Eddie Thompson Jr. joining us here today from the Utah MLK Jr. Human Rights Commission to talk about some celebrations and events happening throughout the weekend and on Monday as well, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about those.
Yeah, so we're really excited with our Martin Luther King Human Rights Commission. We are responsible for trying to make sure that we celebrate the Dr. King holiday to the best of our abilities. So one of the events that we'll be doing on Monday at 11 with the Utah Jazz this year, we're going to bring in 60 kids and we're going to talk about the 6 principles right here of nonviolence. Really excited about that opportunity. This year we're bringing in their parents. We're partnering with the Jazz, with Goldman Sachs, and with L3 Harris. So we're really excited about that. But, you know, across this great state, you know, we have a lot of different colleges that are also going to be participating. Westminster, University of Utah, they actually have a full week of events and activities.
How have you seen, I think, this holiday, as we say, it's a day on, not a day off,
Yes.
in terms of the growth, the events, the participation, the involvement?
It's grown significantly. I've been here since the 80s, and it's grown significantly. We've seen an uptick in events yearly. We see a lot of different commitments from our community partners and engagement with the community.
And it must be so great to see the growth happening through the decades, even it being not called MLK Day not too long ago. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think, you know, as we talk about Dr. King's dream, there's a lot of things in our community that we still have work, you know, to work on with education and different things that we deal with day in and day out. So
how can people at home, if they're listening and with their kids, what can we do as we approach? My kids they have a half day because we are celebrating this holiday. How can we as parents involve our kids?
That's really important. That's a really important question. And a lot of folks ask us, well, what can we do? How can we get engaged? Well, we actually created a toolkit on our Martin Luther King Human Resources Human Commission page.
Website, right.
Yes, and we're really excited about that. That's going to be released by no later than this week, ready for Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. That's also going to highlight the different events and activities throughout the state as much as we can gather. But the toolkit is definitely going to have a lot of different options and items where people can learn how to be an advocate, things that they can do in person and in the community to benefit the Dr. King holiday. So like you said, it's a day on and not a day off.
And there are service days this weekend too,
Yes.
that you would love for people to participate. If they can't make these events, what would you suggest people do in their community?
I think, you know, talking to folks, making sure you get to certain different events, definitely. Sharing, you know, I have several people at my company that share with their team, you know, about Dr. King and the importance of the holiday. So little things, it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but just little things that matter and add up.
How do we talk to our kids about continuing the legacy of Dr. King?
One of the things, again, is going to be our toolkit. There's a lot of different resources there, but just ensuring that people fully have a full grasp of what Dr. King's vision was. You know, we talk about the I Have a Dream speech, but there's so much more to it than just that. There's the fighting behind the scenes. There's the stepping up in our communities, being an advocate. So those are things that we can do to teach our kids to speak up in their schools and about the things that matter to them.
Education is so important.
Education.
I was there at the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King speaking at the Lincoln Memorial, and it is so important for people to connect and to find the history and be educated about Dr. King. So thank you so much for sharing. We'll have all of that information, including the toolkit that you can find on your website. We'll have a link on ours as well on abc4.com/GTU. Thanks again,
Excellent.
Eddie.
Hey, thank you.
All right, and that information there also on your screen.